Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Haradrim month continues with another marquee character about to drop next week, and this time it's a dwarf. Yes, that's right. They've gone against their own theme for the month and they're introducing Bifur into the game. Obviously, he's going to be the easiest dwarf to add to the game since his model already exists in some of the other areas. But strangely enough, they have added him here as a leader for the dwarves, which I think is a bit of a strange pick because when you think of Thorin's company, the only other dwarf besides Thorin that you would think would be a leader amongst them would be Balin. But nonetheless, this is what we have here. We're going to go over his kit and I'm going to let you know why he will be a very important character that you will be adding to your collection. Now, almost a week and a half ago, we did get some information on Chapter 2 of the raid, and they did go through a couple of the mechanics that will make that particular chapter work. The first thing that they did mention was the unique momentum boon that the troll is going to have, and how we're going to control that by critical hits, dispels, and inflicting specific banes like Disrupt. The other thing they did mention is that a team like the Haradrim were going to be very, very important with their Black Serpent's poison, being able to turn those boons into that poison mechanic. But the dwarves are going to take a slightly different approach, and Bifur is going to be a big part of that. Starting with his basic attack, where he can deal up to 170% damage and dispel one boon. Now, being able to dispel the boon just from a basic attack means that anything that consists of counter attacks or assists, he's going to be using that basic, so you're going to be able to dispel those boons off the troll. Now, for his first special move, now this is definitely targeted at those larger creatures. So attack the enemy for 190% damage, inflict blind for 1 turn, and if the target enemy is a large character, also inflict slow for 2 turns. Now that particular part just there where you're targeting the large character and inflicting slow for 2 turns, that is another way that you're going to be able to control that troll in that second chapter of the raid. This is also going to be something that could be useful perhaps in the arena to target some of those Gaza teams and maybe take him out of play from the arena completely. I don't know if this team will be as effective in the arena, but when you put it together, there's definitely a chance that it could be quite useful there. Moving on to his second special ability here, cleanse 2 Banes and grant 2 stacks of defensive to self and the ally with the most health. You're also going to grant 2 stacks of provoke to the ally with the most health. So this is going to benefit any character that has quite a tanky build to them. So Gimli is obviously the first one that comes to mind. Fro is another one that once you gear Fro up, you're definitely going to get a lot of defense out of him. Fro is also another character that is quite easy to farm, so if you can get him up to those higher star levels, you're definitely going to see the benefits of that extra health and defense out of him. But it's these defensive stacks that are really going to be a major part of this build for Bifur, because on his passive ability, when all squad members get hit by the same attack, so those AoE attacks, so if you take Gaza for example, where he just runs straight through the whole team, that attack will count for this. You grant 1 stack of defensive to all squad members that were involved. So that's pretty much going to be anyone that's left alive. Maybe if they have something like Nimble in their kit, if they didn't get hit by the attack, maybe it won't affect them there. But the passive will also give Bifur an extra 15% max health, so he could be quite a tanky character himself. But what brings this all together is the leadership ability, where whenever a squad member gains defensive, they have a 50% chance, or double if they are dwarf, so 100% chance if it's a full dwarf team, they'll gain 1 stack of might, and the dwarf members also have 50% chance to gain 1 stack of counter attack. Also, the entire squad will also gain 15% resistance as part of that leadership ability. And this doesn't really matter whether they're shadow or light side characters, so there are parts of this leadership ability that could allow you to mix and match the squad up a little bit. One decision you may have to make is whether you include Fro in there or maybe put Legolas in there instead, so you do have that synergy with him and Gimli. But overall, I do see the dwarves with this leadership now being quite a viable team to have within the game, whether it's the arena and especially for the raid. You do want to try and build these guys up if you can. But once again, the issue with them being a marquee character is you're just not going to be able to get them past that 3 stars for quite a while unless you're going to pay for it. But the other side of it is we don't have the resources to keep building all of these squads all the time. That's the real downside of having so many marquees come into the game. We're just not really at the stage where there's enough of an economy in the game where we can build these squads out properly. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of Bifur and the dwarf team. Be really interested to hear everybody's thoughts on that. But that's it for this one, guys. Don't forget, like and sub. You know the deal. We got plenty more Heroes of Middle-earth coming your way. Don't miss out, and we'll catch you in the next one.